All right, everybody, welcome to another deep dive. We're tackling something pretty crucial this time around,
Mm.
sustainable living in 2024. And get this, we're ditching the vague eco jargon.
Yeah, we're going for practical, stuff you can actually use.
Right. Actionable tips, exciting innovations. We'll even unpack how businesses are upping their game, all that good stuff.
And the source material we've got, let me tell you, it goes deep, beyond just the basics.
Okay, so let's get right into it. First things first, your action plan. How do we reduce waste and shrink those carbon footprints? I was really surprised by all the research focusing on food waste. Like, that made a big impression on me.
Oh, absolutely. And it's more than just composting, right? Although composting is great, don't get me wrong. But it's also those small, smart strategies. Storing your herbs in water, for example, makes them last way longer. Ever tried that?
I haven't, actually.
Super simple, super effective.
Right. Every little thing helps, as they say. Okay, so speaking of simple, what about those big impact actions, the ones that we might be overlooking?
Transportation. Huge. We often get so caught up on things like recycling, which, again, important, but how we get around, that makes a world of difference. Swapping just 1 or 2 car trips each week could be walking, biking, public transit. The impact is significant.
Mindfulness, right. Being more mindful of our choices. Okay, but enough about what we should be doing. Our source material also features some seriously inspiring sustainability advocates,
Yeah.
people out there actually making it happen. What struck you about their stories?
It's wild how diverse their backgrounds are,
Yeah.
we're talking everyday people who are seeing the impact of climate change right in their own communities. We've got entrepreneurs driven by innovation, and get this, artists using their skills to inspire action. It's really cool.
I love that.
But the common thread, that sense of responsibility,
Yeah.
like we got to do something.
Turning passion into action. That's what it's all about. Were there any examples, any individuals or communities that really stood out? Like, they're really moving the needle on this?
Absolutely. There's this really cool initiative. It's in Copenhagen, and they've turned entire neighborhoods into car-free zones.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're prioritizing green spaces, walkable streets, all that. And the results have been really positive. Not only have emissions decreased, but there's also a stronger sense of community.
That's fantastic.
Can you imagine, like, just strolling down the street, kids playing, and you're not worried about cars?
Sounds idyllic.
Right.
And it proves that sustainability, it's not just about the planet, it's about us too. It's about improving our quality of life.
100%.
Okay, so speaking of inspiring initiatives, we also dove into the business angle. How are companies stepping up their sustainability game?
Big time. We're seeing a huge shift. It's no longer just about that green label.
Mhm.
Companies are really trying to incorporate sustainability into everything they do.
It's about walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
Exactly. And I'm talking about transparent supply chains,
Yeah.
eco-friendly packaging.
What's that like? What does eco-friendly packaging actually mean?
Good question. We're talking about materials that are going to break down easily, compostable stuff, or stuff made from recycled content. Less waste, better for the planet.
Smart.
And let's not forget about the investments in renewable energy. Solar, wind, all that. That's a major one.
It's really great to see that shift from, small gestures to real action.
Totally.
Okay, but what about the actual products we're buying? Are there any trends our listeners should have on their radar?
Oh, tons. The market for sustainable and ethical products, it's exploding right now. It's actually really exciting to see.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Clothes made from recycled materials are huge. And plant-based alternatives. Forget about it. They're popping up everywhere.
For real. I'm going to need to try some of those.
Oh, you totally should. It's pretty amazing what they're doing with plant-based stuff these days.
It sounds it. But it's good though, right? Consumers are demanding better and companies are actually stepping up.
Exactly. It's a win-win.
Innovation is key here. Was there anything in the research that really blew your mind on that front? Any super cool innovations?
Okay, one word. Lab-grown meat.
Lab grown. What?
Yeah, I know. It sounds crazy, but this tech has the potential to be a real game changer. Like, seriously reducing the environmental impact of meat consumption.
Wow, that's incredible. It really goes to show how far we've come.
For sure.
Okay, so there you have it. That was your crash course on sustainable living in 2024. From those little everyday actions to stuff that's straight out of the future.
And the coolest part is there are so many ways to make a difference. Even small changes add up.
Couldn't agree more. What about you? What resonated most with you today? What action are you feeling inspired to take? Hold on to those thoughts because we're about to wrap up with a final, thought-provoking question from our expert.
All right, so here it is. In a world that's becoming more and more driven by technology, how can we ensure that our journey towards a sustainable future, how do we make sure it remains deeply human? Something to think about. Until next time.